All right. Hey, you guys. Welcome to Be Field. I am your host, Tashina Anderson Place. I'm so glad you guys have came back with me again. Can you believe it again? Season number 2. Let's do this. I told you I got some special guests dropping by. And now tonight I have none other than ushering in the second episode, Dr. Kiama Anthony Bishop. And I want her to come in here. We have been good friends since school. I don't know what might come out tonight, but I'm hoping she don't bring up the old school stuff. Let's not.
Listen,
When you bring people from your past, child, you don't know what might happen on here.
we might both have some things that we want to leave in the
Let's
past, okay?
discuss that later. So you just never know. It's so good to have her on here and we can catch up and she can tell us all about what's going on with her and her new life. She got married along the way. Ooh, going to college again, trying to inspire her sister to go back, but I'm like trying to resist. I'm not feeling it yet. Almost. She almost got me. But so I'll give her a chance to tell you little guys about her. Here we go. I'll give the floor to her and we will jump in from there.
Well, I don't really know what to say. You did such a thorough introduction. Y'all, I am Kiama Anthony Bishop. Thank you, Tashina, for inviting me to join you today to have a little conversation and see where it takes us. I agree. We have been friends for oh gosh, since what, high school? Um
Ooh,
and I'm not gonna say how many years ago that was for us, y'all, but it's been a little while.
thank you.
Somebody closer to the 20-year anniversary than I am, but we're not gonna say nothing. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
so we're gonna throw it like that with the
I'm just
it ain't
saying
even that
you
big of
a
a
little
gap,
bit
though.
just a smidgen ahead of me. Just
Oh,
just a tad.
okay, fancy.
Yeah, no, it's been great to keep up with Tashina with you over the years and see your growth and everything, and you got a beautiful family and a transition to a whole other state. And I mean, there have been a lot of blessings upon you, and it has been good to be able to see how that has come to fruition. So I'm very glad to be here tonight. I don't know what it is y'all want to know about me.
Yeah,
You
everything.
guys,
Well, let me ask some questions then, because
okay.
somebody, your name is really Kiama Anthony, but then Kiama Anthony got married to.
I am married to my wonderful husband Justin. So I became Kiama Anthony Bishop. And fun fact, Justin and I grew up together. So I lived on one end of the county and Tashina lived on another end. And Justin and I, our counties were next to each other, and we grew up in the same church. Our families have had gone to school together. My uncles and his uncles and aunts and all that, all of them know each other. So it is a deep rooted history there. And so I guess you could say that's my childhood sweetheart in some ways, although we didn't really get together till I was in college because I am a little bit older than him. So I got him by 2 years. Oh, you didn't know that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. I can get away with it though, because for
Oh,
anybody who wants to know, he look a little older than me. So that's why. Don't tell him I said that,
who
y'all.
just I'm a. Mhm.
Scrub that part. But yeah, so I got married in 2019, in April. And so yes, I am Dr. Kiama Anthony Bishop now. And
And
Dr. is I just graduated in May from the Virginia Commonwealth University. Go Rams. With my Doctor of Education in Leadership. So I'm trying to get my friend here to consider it because she's been talking about this doctor for a good little while. She and I were talking about it before I started my program, and I thought I had her in it with me and we were gonna do it together, but here we are. So we gonna I got faith. It ain't never too late.
ooh,
She,
did you see
she
the
is a
shade? We
lifelong
did.
learner. I know that. So
Yeah, yeah, we did. I remember when you said something about it, and I reached out to you, and I was like, "Girl, you really gonna do it? Oh, is it worth it?" Remember we were talking about is it worth
yeah,
it? 'Cause I think we get to that point in our careers, right, where you get all these degrees, and we love learning, yeah, but then it's like, okay, do I need it to get somewhere, or is it just, do I want that accolade on, do I just want the
Yes.
title? Do I just want it for
Yes.
this? But when I feel like you align it and you have a purpose behind it, then it makes more sense. Because I got to that point in my life with also two. I'm gonna put two and two together because I talk about it all the time and freely. I go be honest. That person that was running behind those degrees was not the best individual. And so I had to shave those edges down a bit.
Just
Whoa,
just a little bit, huh?
Kiama. I mean, a lot. Okay, a lot. Don't judge me. You didn't come on here for this. But girl, when I mean I had to shape that thing and tone all the way down, it was a hot mess. And I mean hot burning mess. And I was like, somebody help me, Jesus. Jesus was the only one that came in because I needed it. And I was, because it was just like, I tell people all the time, one word that I can never get out of my head is unstoppable. I just felt unstoppable. I didn't care about anything or
Mhm.
how what it took to get the degree, what it took to get to the offices,
Doing it.
what it took to get to success, running it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing else mattered. I mean, he wanted to have kids, sure, great. You, I'm going back to what I'm doing now.
Right. Right. I can do that on the way to get to something else, right? Which is hence how I'm, 36 years old with no kids right now. And
Ah,
starting my journey, right? Because I done
I
did all these other things and checked all these boxes except for that one.
Girl, listen. I just said that on the last one I just recorded is the fact that I had actually said that was the way to get there, right? That was my goal. No, well now I was gonna tell you mine. I said I was no husband, no children. I was on the go. I don't even know where I was gonna end up. I was
Okay.
gonna be somewhere traveling the world with a bank account bigger than my name. Listen,
Living the life, right?
but life didn't come out that way.
Mm, it
But
did
that's
not.
all right. But that's all
That's how
right.
it is.
Yes,
No,
that's
I was totally the same way. I was always like, I'm not doing
yeah.
all that stuff. I'm not gonna be traditional in any way. I'm gonna do my own thing and be somebody rich auntie, right?
Rich
And,
auntie.
yeah, and do that and look at me now, right? I'm still trying to be somebody rich aunt, but I got a other couple other things
Listen.
that's important along the way now.
I got two up for adoption at any time.
Look, you can send them on up here because, like, look, long as I know I can send them on back, child, they're gonna come back sugared up and spoiled up, and that's fine. Going
You're
back
so
to your
funny.
parents now.
You're so funny, but that's so cool. No, I'm so glad that you guys are doing well and you got the success, girl. So let's kind of, like I was trying to say about scrubbing around them edges and keeping it low key. But so what drove you to tell us a little bit more about your job? She got a new job on top of this, you guys. Let's talk about it. What do you feel drove you to get this next step? And then, what do you think is gonna where you think is gonna take you now?
Yeah, great question. So, I work in higher education, right? I work at the University of Virginia,
Okay.
and I've been there coming up on 8 years. Actually, next month. And so, almost my entire professional career, other than a couple jobs right out of college, have been higher education. Right, I was in the for-profit sector, and then I did a little bouncing around, and then I landed at UVA, which has been my home for a good little while. Um, and I've just had some kind of career progression along the way. Um, I've been really blessed to have some mentors, and I have a leadership coach um, who have kind of been along for my journey throughout. I mean, since college. I mean, my leadership coach, shout out to Gold Enterprises LLC. Go Google that, y'all.
Yes.
Black
Maybe I'm
woman,
like,
minority owned, Gold,
what?
GOLD
Oh,
LLC. I highly recommend. But the Dr. Shauna Payne Gold was my um she was our assistant director of our multicultural center when I was at Mary Washington in my undergrad. And she taught me my senior year, and she's just kind of been around. So she had a tremendously blessed career in higher education, and she and a couple other folks that I met when I was at Mary Washington kind of really, I mean, I was blessed to meet some black women, some other women who had done really well in higher education, and you don't always see that, right? And they both have doctorate degrees, and so I was like, I want to do that. How are you gonna help me do that? But at the time when I was going through, I did my master's, and I did that while I was working, and was fine. And I said, I'm done after my master's. I don't need no doctorate, all that. And I kept saying, I don't want to do it. I ain't got time. All of these things. I had every excuse in the world. And between, the people who had been mentors to me and my current boss, they were kind of like, if you really are trying to excel in higher education and work at any type of prestigious institution, you might want to go ahead and work that out. And so I had kind of a little come to Jesus moment where it was like, oh, I, I feel like this is not a suggestion. I feel like this is a Kiama, you need to go
Exactly.
figure it out and
Yep.
make it work. Let me tell you how it all came to fruition. So at that point, that was pre-COVID, the year before. It was like probably, I guess, 2019. So I took a couple classes at UVA in their doctoral program,
Hmm.
applied, didn't get in, distraught. Like, I had everything mapped up. Oh, I work here, I can do this, I can do that, I can walk the class. I didn't get in and was like, no, wait a minute, how I ain't get in? I done took two classes with y'all and got an A on both of them, and I work full time. So okay, I said, all right, God, what you want me to do now? Because all my eggs was in a basket, like
Oh
that
my
was the
goodness.
basket. And so I talked with some folks, and people were like, okay, you got other institutions to go look at, go find something, go do your research. So it took me like 2 weeks to get my life together. I was a little distraught because, Chad, when I say, if y'all ain't cash my check and sign my check, I might be a little
Oh,
upset with y'all. Um,
listen.
it was rough. I was going through it for a second.
Whoa. Whoa, wait. Yeah, let me grasp that
Oh, you
before.
want to unpack that part?
Girl, you didn't. Okay, so how you come back to work? Like, how do you step back to
Let me tell
how do
you.
you step back through the door? Okay, that's a good. Okay, wait though. We're gonna be professional because I'm feeling I'm conflicted on which way to go. But this is a good thing about pouring out and giving inspiration to other people because look how you handled that situation, right? Of
Yeah,
course, you felt it,
yeah,
but you didn't turn away. You didn't say, "Oh, it's too much for me. I can't look at you guys. Oh, y'all don't respect me, so I can't even work for you anymore." Like you ain't burnt. Now you might have thought it, but you didn't burn the bridge, right? You were
right.
like, "I can't throw away my whole life on
I,
feelings," and I
I
think
can't.
that's what we're
Yeah,
trying to tell everybody nowadays is that sometimes if you stop and think it through, in that moment, yeah, it feels like I guess I could say crap feels a mess, but it's like, what are you going to do if you do blow up in this situation right now? How are you going to use this person to be a rep for you in the future? Like, you got to think
right.
all this stuff through. So, yeah, walk us through the first day going back through the door. Like, how are you feeling when you went back after you saw that?
Listen, I read it at work.
Oh, all
I
right,
just been like,
podcast over.
I remember I had this, and I said,
Oh my goodness.
I said, "Where's that at?" And it might even come an email. I know I was at work, and I remember telling my boss like, didn't work out. And so honestly, I was really upset, but it wasn't nothing I could do about it. Like, I could have met with and I think I even wrote the director and was like, what happened? And
Yeah, yeah,
she gave some, explanations, and I understood, right? But the good thing that I did appreciate was I did feel like that director, she didn't make the decision,
yeah.
but
Okay,
she was really transparent in like what they were looking for. I
okay.
didn't agree, obviously, but I had, and my issue was never with her, right?
Right.
And so really I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to shift gears because I still need to do this. If
Mhm.
I want to get to XYZ and make XYZ, I gotta figure this out, right? I mean, let me be clear. I have career aspirations and I have financial aspirations, right? I don't necessarily want to live like I may have had to live when I was pre 18. So, in order for me to do
Oh,
that,
so
I
much.
gotta
I gotta
gotta
come.
get it together, right? I know
So
you can understand where I'm going with that.
yeah, man. Yes, yes, I can. So that is another. Oh, can't see what I'm talking about. The more you talk, I'm like, girl, I'm busting at the seams. But it's like we want to be. It's not that we are against the way we were brought up, right?
At
I
all.
always tell people that I love it. Like I look back on it now, yeah, I was running out of that county beforehand. I was like, I gotta. But that was, a lot of that I look back on. There was more people saying, I want to get out. You got to get out. It has to be this and this and that. But man, when I go back to visit and I look at this hometown and I walk through and I'm like, look at where I came from. This is awesome. And I'm like, hey, you guys, this is beautiful. And my grandma she loved this place, loved it.
Yeah.
And the people loved her. And I'm like, that's why when I go back, it just feels like her. It feels like home. But I think that's what some people miss, right? Is that we get stuck on that feeling, but we don't go any further. And I love that you said that you can still respect where you came from and have your eyes set on more. Not saying it's better and I got to do the. No, what you're saying is I can choose to do more. It's going to cause a lot more work, but I can choose to be better and I want to be better and I want to generationally bring about something new.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a uh ongoing conversation, right? Of
Yeah.
people, they I had this conversation recently, and I mean, it was a work conversation, and we've been, we're trying to do some things with some lower income high schools across the state, and some things that I really am passionate about. And thinking about that, and we're having a conversation with my colleague and I, and talking about how people can have this sense of like abandonment, right? People judge them because they made it out or they do something
Yes.
different, and they assume that you don't have any ties or any connection or any self-awareness, and it's simply not the case, right? I mean, it is just like I have reminders every day of how I grew up, and I wouldn't change a lot of that. There's some things that I probably would want to have had differently, but
Right.
everything that was in my upbringing and everything up until this point now is really how I'm here, right? I mean, there are things that I had to learn through adversity. And it doesn't mean that me wanting to do something else or you relocating to another state because that's what's best for your family doesn't mean that you think any less of where you came from.
Right.
If anything, it makes you kind of appreciate and be more thankful for your journey, right? Like,
Right.
I don't look like where I came from. And also, I need to be thankful of my journey and what I have learned along the way because I had a lot of life lessons. And to your point earlier, some things that I might not want to revisit, and yet I still made it, right? And
Right.
so, I agree. I mean, it's, I think I kind of get frustrated sometimes of like, the kind of, oh, you think you're better now or
Oh man. Oh
that.
man.
And it's like, um,
Yeah.
that's actually not what this is.
Yes.
I want better. I want more, but it doesn't think that I think anything is less than.
Right. Right. And I think that sometimes, so I try to always figure that too. Is that in my mind? There's probably somebody out there probably saying that, like, what we're thinking right now. But it's like, too, it's like, I'm hoping to be an inspiration. Okay. I'm trying to feel and pour out and show you. And I'm not trying to at all say that what you have can never compare to what is going on here. I'm like, if I could peel back everything and you could see
That
Yeah.
part.
It there's more. There's a lot that goes into all of this,
A
or
lot.
putting all of this together, or I'm like, shoot. I was like, there's days too when you're like, well, I thought I did this, but then I got all this, and then wait a minute. Sometimes Paul and Peter meet, and then sometimes I still gotta call next where Peter at, because
Right.
I'm trying not to rob him. Hello, Peter, show up on time. Like,
Right. Right. Come through.
but I think that's kind of what people think that's happening. I'm like, man, no, I'm just out here living life, and I want to be honest, and I want to be open. I want to talk to you guys, and we just want to show you that it can be done. So I
It
think,
can
and,
be
and
done.
it can be done, like you said, respectfully, in a
Absolutely.
professional manner, and I love it. I love that you can show everybody a good example of, hey, I came. Here's where I came from. This is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. I'm not here to do anything more, but yeah, let me help you. And then that's the thing too. Ooh, girl, don't let me start. Don't be afraid to ask people that are going the direction you want to go in. Uh-oh, I'm about to bust. Don't be
Come
afraid.
on with it.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. Or if you see them doing something that you're interested in, don't be afraid to say, hey girl, I got a question. Do you think you had any advice, or what would you do in this situation? How can you, do you think you can help me?
Listen. If you ain't said nothing else, you need to say that again. And let me just say, in addition to that,
Yeah.
don't be afraid. Yes, find people who have similar identities as you,
Yeah.
but don't be afraid to connect with people and build your network that has some diversity across intersecting identities, right? Because in this chapter in my life, I have some great allies that are black men and women, right? I have black men and women that are pouring into me so deeply right now professionally. But I also have a very, very strong network of white women who are older than me, who are they are in the next chapter of their career where I want to get to.
Right.
I've got other women of color who are ahead of me. I've got men. I mean, my network is so diverse. My friend circle is so diverse because
Yeah.
I'm getting different things to your point. I got different folks pouring in, right? So I might need this right here today because I need this flavor, right? This
Yep.
is my moment, right? But next week or my next chapter, I might need something different and I need to add that to my cup because that's what I need in that moment. Do not be afraid
Come on.
to challenge, what it looks like, right? Like my inner circle ain't
Ooh.
gonna all be people that look like Kiama in her age bracket, right? It
Yes.
can't be. And in some ways, I've recognized that because of that, I'm starting to kind of shed some
Mm.
of those people that are falling into that bracket who
Come
have
on.
had for a little while, who I
Oh.
realize I'm not gonna carry them in that cup into my next chapter. They might not make the cut. And at
Oh.
this point in my life, I'm learning to be okay with that, right? That season may end, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that anything has happened or
Yes.
there was any falling out. It's just that there are enough signs and enough patterns for me to realize that
Mm.
that's not what I need in my life at this moment in time. I may come back around to you, I may not.
Right.
But people, that's the one you hit the nail on the head. Reach out to people, build your network, just start connecting and figuring out how people get there. And you say it best. I want to be able to do that for others, right?
Mm.
We made it out of a rural county in Virginia and are doing successful. I mean, you are leading a team of folks who I understand probably don't all look like you,
No.
right? Some of them might be older than you.
That
Some
part.
might have very different backgrounds
Let me
than you,
tell you.
right?
Yeah,
And you there.
Yeah, and I always wonder how they feel in that situation because I'm gonna be honest, I'm a young leader
Mm,
compared to most. And a
right.
lot of times I show up, and especially at this job that I'm at now, and I showed up and I was like, oh, I always think that I'm like, so how do you feel
Mhm.
reporting to someone that's younger than you? It's got to be, but I never had any problems with it, but I always be like, oh man, that's very interesting. But we went on two different, they like what they do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. Some the people on my team, they didn't go down the path that I went down. One lady, some of them been there 25 years.
Yeah.
That's just been the job that they had, and they kind of rode the wave out. Some been there 15. I mean, years. So it's not like I don't think they've ever had the opportunity. It takes a special kind of person to want to be in leadership. I'm gonna just say that.
It does. It's not for everybody.
No, it takes a special kind of person to want to be in leadership, and I'm crazy enough.
Right. That we look at us.
we,
What we doing to ourselves?
you know what? But then I'd say that now. Let me know your opinion. This is just me, but I'm like, could I? And you think about this? Could you step away and not? Do you think you could turn back?
No, absolutely not. Could you?
I debated that a lot and
Oh, I
said,
want to hear this.
oh, okay, here I go. I've thought about it a lot, but for some reason, my personality always lands me into certain roles. Like for instance, okay, when the transition with my last job, I actually applied for a job without a team
Mm,
at this company, and I was like, okay, well, I want to come do this job. It was a director role, and they didn't have a team, and I'm like, perfect director, and I don't have to lead anybody. I can just do my work.
eh, how long did it last?
They didn't even let me in the door with that. They saw my resume and was like, "Oh, we got this other position."
Come on over here and do this instead.
Yeah. So you see
And
what I'm saying? Like I didn't even. I tried to get out, and then they still. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm good at leading. I don't know how I would feel. I mean, I do have somebody I'm reporting to. I don't own the
right.
company.
We all report to somebody, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I could go all the way back down if I had to.
You know what's funny is that in all the time I've known you, I don't know that I've ever like not seen you as some type of leader, right? Whether formal or informal, right?
Well, thank
That
you.
there are just certain things that you see in people and
Yeah.
you say, yeah, that person's going somewhere and they're gonna take some people along with them, right? Or I want to go where they going, right? So you have
Right.
always so I'm not surprised at all. Um, but yeah, I think I asked some of the same questions about just the nature of where I work and who I supervise and
Yeah.
how to be a really good leader, right? So I recognize that I'm going to be in a lot of situations where people have not reported to someone. I am some folks I'm their first like real manager, right? So you have that dynamic of like you are really going to mold and shape someone's career.
And that's the fun part to me. I think being able to inspire them is.
Um
Oh, are you leaving?
and
Yeah, she's
yeah,
okay.
and you're never going to they have never reported to somebody that looks like us, right? And what do I do to make sure that it's not even like win somebody over or impress them, but what do I do to make sure like one, I earned this, but two, let me actually show you what I can do for you and how the type of leader I can be so that
Yeah.
when you do report to somebody else who might look like me or who might be different but may not look like you, maybe you won't be so guarded because you will have built some trust and have some understanding, right? So I spent a lot of time over the last few years, especially in this program, because my doctorate degree is in leadership, right? And so that is the foundation of the entire program. We did, Myers-Briggs, TKI, all these different personality assessments. We've done
Oh,
leadership assessments. I mean, we did a number of different things. So it really came at a good time because when I started the program in 2020, we all know what was going on in 2020, really, this whole global thing happened.
listen,
I
I had a
started this
whole
program,
baby in the COVID.
whole baby, right? You out here changing things, right? Um, but I did that and I became a formal manager again in that time frame. And so all of that, so the last kind of 3 years or so, that it has really been a lot of growth. And I had a leadership coach along the way, right? I mean, I will tell anybody, if you are any type of leader, whether it's formal or informal, or you have any type of aspirations to be one, get a leadership coach. Um,
So I was going to ask you about that. Can you explain kind of what a leadership coach does? Because I was going to touch on that next. That was my thing. I was like, if you want to fill your cup and get a mentor or something like that. So I'm gonna tell you this honestly, and don't jump off too yet, because I don't. Y'all got me announcing a lot of stuff in this episode, second season. Let me tell you, the first episode, I was like, why am I announcing stuff already? But then we come in two, and then here come Kiama with this coaching thing. So I'm gonna talk about it real quick, and we're gonna jump into that.
Come on through with it. I think I know where you're going. Come
You
on through.
know what? You just make me so. Let me hit the button. I'm
I'm
done.
waiting.
Who is coming for me? All right. So back a few years ago, I don't know, 2018, 2017, something like that. I can't remember. I think it was 2018, 2018, 2019, something like that. I opened up a coaching business
Mm-hmm.
and went and got my certified executive coach certification.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So for a little bit, I was like toying with the idea. I was helping people with their resumes and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, coaching sounds fun. And then I dropped it off. I was like, bye, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
But
Bye, Kim.
come on through. Come
Bye,
on.
Kim.
I feel it speaking to my spirit right now. Come on. Tell me what I want to hear. Come
All
on.
right. So I've been debating. Hello?
Hmm.
Debating, ma'am. Debating whether or not I want to jump back in and maybe do like I have been thinking about group coaching. I have been thinking about individual coaching. I have been thinking about, do I want to do author coaching? I don't know quite yet. I've heard about life coaching. I was like, I don't want to coach people through life. But now you jump on here talking about leadership coaching, and I'm like, what is that? Now I need to know about what leadership coaching is. So I did, and I also saw there was Christian coaches. So it was like, oh, well, I'm a Christian. I've got the leadership background. I'm like, can I just throw it on the front, or I got to get a whole nother certification? Like I'm over here. So yes, so I've been thinking about how to organize this. If it will be an avenue that I'll go down. I did get some really good reviews of people saying, you know, I helped them out a lot. I helped them get into their
Yeah.
new roles, helped them get into their positions. My resume helped them through doors. Cover letters helped them. Interview prep helped them. So it's like, where do I take it now? And do I want to do something more with that coaching aspect? Because you do get to a point in your career where you're like, I have all this, my cup is full. Now what? Teach
Now
others
what?
how to do it. I mean, especially if you're getting compliments about the way you lead or what you've done in business and you have something to show for it. I think at that point you can coach. So, yes, episode 2, I am debating
Come
coaching.
on.
So,
Yes.
love to hear more about your leadership coach.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. I will plug it till I drop dead. I got the best leadership coach,
Okay.
hands down.
Okay.
Shauna Payne Gold, Google her, y'all. Gold Enterprises. based
We
out
will
of
drop
Maryland.
her
We're gonna yes, we're gonna drop her link.
link
She'll
and
be
I'll
down.
put it down there for everybody so everybody can check her out.
She will. I'm telling you, you wouldn't. But um, what she has done for me in terms of leadership is really one of the first things that she had me do. In addition to thinking about this doctorate degree and doing those things,
Right.
is she taught me how to write a leadership philosophy. And I had not done that before now. Fortunately, because she had done it when I did it again at VCU, I knew what it was. But I'm telling you, if you are a leader, you need to have a leadership philosophy. And they look different. I mean, you can Google it. There are so many different versions and templates. It really is going to speak to what's important to you. But
Right.
mine right now kind of it tells you what my core values of being a leader are, what you should expect to see me exhibit daily, what my quirks are, right? So one of the things that I tell people all the time is I'm pretty direct in my communication, right? And so one of
Yep.
the areas that I've been working on over the last couple of years is giving and receiving feedback. For me, if you don't give me feedback, just give it to me and let me process it, right? Let me sit in it, figure it out. I might be mad in a moment. And then after that, I'm gonna move on from it, right? I'm not one of them
Right.
people that's gotta sit
No.
with it and massage it for a long time. I'm ready to figure out, like, okay, what do I do to fix this?
Yep.
And I had to learn that not everybody wants to receive feedback like that. And I see Siri trying to be in our conversation.
That's okay.
Um, I'm trying. I realize that not everybody wants to receive feedback like that. And so in my leadership philosophy, I talk about like that's part of my journey. And if you're gonna, if I'm gonna lead you, you got to be able to go on that journey with me. And you got to be able to, I will be vulnerable with you and tell you I ain't always gonna get it right. But when I don't, I need to be able to build a relationship with you so that you can tell me, like, Kiama, that won't hit no nothing right there. And so, that, and then lastly, it talks about what I expect from people, right? I expect people to be ongoing learners, right? I expect people to take initiative. One of the biggest aspects of my leadership philosophy is I expect people to make mistakes. And I don't care that you make a mistake. It's about what are we going to learn from this, right? We can have something huge happen, right? There are very few things that are going to have me be like, no, we can't have you here anymore, right? Very few.
Yeah.
And so that
Yeah.
was something that had to be new for people because I'm so direct in my communication, people are going to automatically assume that I'm going to be upset about something. And it's not that I'm
Right.
upset. My reaction is, okay, so now what we going to do about it? Right. And so I had to learn to put that up front in my leadership philosophy and say, this is how I'm going to respond in these situations.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm upset with you. I'm actually glad that you shared it with me.
Right.
And then I expect you to say, okay, this happened. We messed up, or I messed up. Here's what I think we can do, or here's the context. I need you to help me fix it, right? So she taught me how to do that, right? And it is something that, I mean, I've had, I don't know, 4 versions of a leadership philosophy because it changes with the seasons, right? It changes
Right.
when there are things that are important to me change, or my values change based on, do I have a newer team right now? Right now, I have a pretty large team. It's larger than it should be. So my values needed to change. So I needed to be a little more transparent about I don't have enough time in every day to touch
Right.
everything. So I got to prioritize some things. So I needed to be upfront.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as a leadership coach goes, I mean, just helping me think through employee relations and thinking
Wow.
through how to mentor people and how to build a inclusive environment and focus on climate, or do you want to focus on culture? I mean, having a leadership coach has influenced my life in so many areas other than work, because
Wow.
there's so many things that I'm doing in that moment that kind of go in other ways, right? How I communicate in my relationship, how I communicate with others, right?
Wow.
You said something earlier that is so powerful that I feel like I've been hearing it over and over of being able to pause in a moment and just sit with something,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I had to learn that, and she and I did that really well. And right now I'm in one of those seasons where it's like, okay, I need to, and I'm trying to teach others around me, right? I have someone who I've been supporting it. So there's been a number of times where I'm saying like this is a moment where you could have slowed down and you might have had a different outcome, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
being able to teach that and see like that person say like,
Yes.
oh, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see what you mean, right? That is, and so like even at home, like family dynamics and stuff. Now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, that's what you're doing right now?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna let you live with that. I'm just gonna let you know that I'm not okay with this right now,
There
but
you
I
go.
don't need to do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and slide on back on over here to my side of the house, or I'm gonna go ahead and end this phone call, and I can come back to this later, right? So that was something really powerful that you said is just being able to pause and stand in the moment and not move too fast because sometimes you can really get ahead of yourself. So I absolutely think that you should explore your coaching
Oh,
opportunities and
yes.
wherever it takes you. I know you didn't think I won't go come back full circle now.
Oh, yes. I was hoping we will slide on past that
Oh
one and just
no, because
go
first of
right
all, I knew
into
where this was going. I said, yes, give me like speak to me right now. Cause I knew and I remembered coaching. So I was just waiting for it to come back. But I think you absolutely should. And I think it's, I mean, I can connect you with her. I'm sure she'd be
Here she go.
great to now listen, I try to connect her with everybody, child.
I
I
know
mean,
that's
but even without that, I think you should explore it because it's something that you're passionate about. And you
right.
said something that was also really powerful and you've reached a point where now you can help others get there, right? You can pour into somebody else. And so how
Yeah.
you gonna do that?
Oh, there she go.
Oh,
Here, right here. Look.
I'm sorry. Was this supposed to be all about me tonight?
Oh,
We're
clearly.
not doing that.
This
We're
ain't
not doing
working.
that.
Okay, she just gonna come in here. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am a guest. My apologies.
You're fired.
I don't know that that's good coaching, ma'am, but I do think
Well,
I think it's you got a lot of you got a lot of new and great opportunities. I mean, you're doing a lot of things,
yeah.
with church and just a lot of different. You got a lot of things that are intersecting.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that you have a unique opportunity here to use those experiences collectively and tap into something someplace that you haven't gone yet.
Here she comes. Oh.
Oh, okay, I'm going now.
Don't be in my study closet, Kiama. Don't be in my
Oh,
closet. Okay, just let me work this thing out by myself. Okay, I
oh, is
don't
that
need
what we doing? Oh,
that's
okay.
not
I'll
in a
check in
second.
in a
Now,
few
why
weeks
you had
and
to come
ask.
with all of that? But that's how I've been feeling. I'm gonna be honest. That's how I've been feeling lately. Is that I'm at that point where my lives are intersecting, and I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm out of here. This episode is over. No. So I've been trying to figure out how to do my best with making them both work. So give me 1 second, girl. Let me see something. Yeah, go ahead.
You said do your best with making them both work, and I mean,
Yes.
I think that's gonna come to you, right? I mean, I don't think that that's gonna be something that you're gonna have to manufacture or create. I think
Yeah.
it's going to you're gonna have this evolution of things that are that are going to come into this powerful moment where all of
Right.
those things are going to collide. I don't think you're going to have to do much for it, right? I mean, you're clearly in a chapter where you are in a great chapter, but there you're almost kind of closing a chapter, right? Is coming on with the we in the last couple pages of this chapter, and we getting ready. We can go in a couple different. Oh, we may be in the last couple pages of this book. And
So
what
this
does the sequel look like, right? What does the next book look like? And you can go in a number of different directions, right? And so I think that
girl. Oh, Lord.
just having that patience, right? I think that there
Yeah.
are if one thing that I have learned in this season is to be patient. And
Yes.
I mean, I'm so quick to want to I need it right now. I want to fix it
Yes.
right now. I want to change it
Yes.
right now. I need to know what the answer is right now.
Yes.
And I have really learned in this season that sitting and waiting is going to be a blessing. Right? There is something powerful in the silence.
Woo!
There is something powerful in just existing. And sometimes it's not even silence. There is something powerful in being in a storm and there are things swirling around you. And
Girl.
kind of like you're in this windstorm and you want to grasp something because everything flying past you so fast and you're
Woo.
trying to grasp and you can't get it. And you
Go ahead,
realize
girl.
that it's going to settle. And when it settles, you're going to have something great. And you're not even going to know what that was, right? I think you in your moment where
Woo.
it's going to come soon.
Child, come on.
Don't do all that. I'm just trying to, pour into you. You ain't out here pouring into everybody else. Um,
Let me
so
just
we trying to figure out how we gonna fill your cup. But I think your cup right now is
what in the world?
referencing something that you said in your book. Right now, your cup is full.
Yes.
Um, and but full in a good way, right? And at
Yes.
some point,
Yes.
you may be ready for a refill.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna put in it on the next refill?
Ooh, look at you. Okay. So she came for me tonight.
Oh, I mean,
So you came
all
on
right,
here. Okay. So you came to
all
give a
right.
little
Oh,
word
you
on your way
must have
out.
thought you was gonna get. You thought you was getting 2005 Kiama tonight, huh? No, we
Okay.
we
No,
gotta we gotta leave her back there somewhere right there.
this is good. Look at you. No, that was good because I hope people heard all that too because that could bless somebody. That could be the word they've been waiting on. Waiting. What you do while you wait, I always say is important. So
Yes,
hello, that's good. That's good advice, and I think what you said makes sense. Now
it
I got
did.
to go back replay this 5 times and think about it again.
Oh, I don't think you gotta play that many times because you already got a little inkling of what's going on, Chad. You just needed somebody to tell you what you already knew about yourself. Okay, we not about to sit here and play these games right now. Okay, you already know that blessing is already there. But yeah, I mean
This
it is
child.
something powerful in being patient, and I
Yeah.
am not good at. I don't have no patience, right? But waiting and understanding that there is something greater for you, understanding that your blessing ain't my blessing, and I can't worry about your blessing. I got to be happy for you and your blessing and recognize that that's your blessing, right? Because I might be sitting over here like, well, God, why you give her this? And I'm over here working hard, but that's because that's what she needs in that moment. And he over here giving me something that I need in this moment because I didn't even know I needed it, right?
Well, excuse me. This is Be Filled by Kim.
Uh, don't do that, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I
Excuse me.
ain't all the way
Take it
there
off. Take it
tonight.
off. Look, she wait. Go ahead, Kim. Take off at 48 minutes and be ready to make another hour. Go ahead, Kim.
Look. Let
Sit
me
here.
say
We'll
before
come
that.
back.
Look,
They'll be
I'm
like,
sorry,
Grandma,
y'all. I
bring her
am the
back.
guest here. I'm
No,
with
we're
the
gonna bring you
expert.
back again. We're gonna need a co-host in a minute. Co-host. Oh, God, come
Yes,
on,
yes,
Kiamani. Yes, yes, let's
yeah.
go.
It's
Yeah, you
good.
better.
It's good. I it has been a challenging bit. I lost one of my closest friends this year, the day
Oh,
before my birthday,
oh
and
yeah.
that just kind of there were so many other things that were going on at the same time as that. I was
Yes.
writing my defense and I needed to defend and all of these
Yeah.
other things. And so this has been the culmination of some growth, right? I mean, that was a moment that I mean that nobody was prepared for that. And in
Yeah.
that moment, I mean, and I was just talking about it just now. I still don't have the answers into why she's gone. And it's never for me to have those answers. Um but when
Right.
it first happened, I just kept saying like, why, Lord, why you do that? Why you take that friend? Not that I'm trying to get rid of any friend, but I mean, we're talking about a person who is like yourself, just never had an enemy, nicest spirit, loves hard, loves openly. I ain't never seen her upset. right? And one day she here, next day she not, and I'm like, okay, I don't got no answers for this one, Lord. You gotta tell me something else. Um, and even in that, I had to kind of sit still and just, after that, I wanted to do all these things and I wanted to lash out and I had all these emotions, and even through that, I had to really, really sit still and be okay with there are some things that you are not going to have the answer to and they are bigger than you, right? Um and being okay with that, right? And just recognizing that this one is bigger than me. And so the kind of since then we've been having this um and in being able to sit still, I mean, I've had some really great things happen, right? And you have, right? I've gotten promoted and I got a
Listen,
doctorate
come
and I went
on,
out of the country and I did
come
all of
on.
these things.
So
So
that's so let me so that's what I was. I think that's a good point to lead into what I was going to say next to wrap up the title into all this. So even in a winning season, there can still be trial, but it's
absolutely,
all in how you handle it, right?
absolutely,
So it's
absolutely.
yep. So see, that's what I felt from that. I was like, well, there it is. You're in a winning season. There's a lot going on, but also there can be a storm. There can be something that trips you up along the way. But how you react, does it
Right, you
take you
keep
down?
going.
Do you stay in that moment? Do you fall back from the road that you were walking? Do you let the valley swallow you up? Or for me, I would say, do I look up or do I keep
Ooh,
looking down?
ooh,
You know, do I look forward or do I look back?
you better say that.
You know, so I think that is
You better
that.
come on through.
When you said that just now, I was like, that is the key to it. Because I know I can tell you right now, when my grandmother passed away, I wanted to die too. I just
Yeah,
wanted to be up out of here.
yeah,
You might as
yeah.
well go. I had already told 50 million people, anything ever happened to her, I'm going to. Y'all might as well just take me on,
Right,
wrap me up and roll me out. And so that was a new life when I had to wake up that and start living and living without her. And I was like,
right.
so what I look like?
That's it. The question was, so now what am I supposed to do now?
Right. But you know what? I laid in bed one day, girl, and I think I wrote about this, and I'll never forget it. And I laid in bed and I heard audibly, get up.
Told you was not gonna keep on laying there. Hmm.
I'm looking around like, yes, sir. Yes. I mean, can I just and I mean I talked back and I was like, can I just let me
Nope.
lie here? Let me I want to know. I do not want to get why? And next thing I know, it was like, you cannot do this. This has to be done. You have to da. Get up.
Yeah.
This is not the time. This is not what she wants. This is blah blah blah. And I'm like, hot mess. Hot mess.
Yeah.
But I was like, I
But you
dragged my
survived it.
feet on the side of that bed and I was like, fine then.
Put both feet down.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
get
out
up
of
and
this
get moving.
spot. I'm gonna get out of this spot that I've been laying in.
Yeah.
Like life is done. I really was. And then it was like you have to make a choice. Make the choice. You have to say today. It doesn't have to say I'm gonna win and I'm gonna get the promotion today, but it's saying keep walking. Keep trying.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. And winning looks different to other people, right? A promotion was part of my winning season, right? Like I said before, my blessing ain't your blessing. Somebody else may not be worried about a promotion right now. Somebody else may be worried about what's going on with their kids or how
Mhm.
they're going to pay for something or whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else may be going through something health wise, right? I mean,
Right.
but you gotta keep working at it, right? And I
Right.
believe that when you do good, good is going to come back on you so much more, right? If you
Right.
do good, you are going to be blessed, and things happen, right? bad things happen to good people, right? I
Yes.
mean, your grandmother is somebody who, I mean, was a pillar,
Yeah.
right? You Graham was a that I mean that and we have to find some comfort in knowing that, she is somewhere smiling
Yes.
with
And
that smile
walking.
that she has and her curls and her glasses,
And
smiling
walking.
down on you.
Yes. Smiling and walking. That's what I tell myself all the time. She's no longer in that bed. And
Right.
she's no longer in that bed. She's no longer with those medications. She's with her family and friends
She
and
is.
living life. But somebody had said this the other day. It's like thinking about this. Instead of thinking about them being gone, think about them being on a long vacation.
Mm,
A vacation that one
yeah.
day you can join
You
them on.
you gonna join them. Yeah. You
And I'm
don't
like,
worry, I'll be there soon. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess.
Yes. Okay, you better come on through with a
Then
word
I
today.
guess, then I guess. All right. I
Mm.
won't keep dwelling in it. But I'm telling you, girl, my eyes were swollen up this morning. I was like, I can't get on here with Kiama like this. I saw the pictures come up. I was like, woo.
No, no, this has been great. I mean, it is what you're doing is really really something powerful and really something you should be proud of. And I think
Yeah.
this is something that may be part of what your next chapter looks like, right? I mean, you talked about what coaching looks like, and it can look like
Yeah.
a number of different things. And
Yeah.
this may just be a part of it, right? You may be able to
Right.
reach people in a number of different ways. And coaching may also come through the form of your podcast, right?
True.
Be
True.
filled may be a way that you can support and build and pour into someone and also share it with the world, right? So that
There it
you're
is.
also doing that with somebody else. I mean, it is something that you should be proud of. I'm proud of
Oh,
you.
well,
So
thank you. Well,
I'm
thank
I'm very thankful to have been a guest on
you. Hey.
episode 2. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Look at you coming in on season 2. I know that's right. I can't even believe it's season 2, Chia. But
I
I'm like,
know.
oh, here we go. I mean, that's what I get for thinking it's no and never. And here we
Hmm.
are.
No, that's what you get for telling yourself no or never. Because I don't think that anybody ever said that won't ever the answer. You told yourself that because you wanted yourself to believe that. Now look at you.
Well, thank you. Yes, baby.
Hmm. Hmm. What was that you were talking about again? That you didn't have this and you didn't have that, and look like to me you're doing all right. Just saying.
Full of excuses. Full of excuses,
Ugh,
girl.
yeah, I don't think we need that in our cup right now.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that's another episode. It's about our excuses and our tendency to talk ourselves out of things.
Come on then.
Just saying, we might have to
Come
do a part
on.
two.
All right, so let's see, y'all. I think Kiama just signed herself up to come back again. That means I am excited to maybe mark her down later on or in another season. We'll see where we go. But I'm telling you, girl, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Any questions before we wrap things up?
My biggest question, and you talked about it a little bit,
Yeah.
is just kind of your journey to your podcast. I mean, you
Oh, yeah.
talked about how you were thinking about it and you were
Uh,
trying to talk yourself out of it,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
I mean, it's and the episodes. It's I mean, it seems like it's something that, as much as it is a gift to other people,
Yeah.
it is a gift to yourself. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's my curiosity for the night is how did you get here, and how do you, having gotten a full season under your belt, there I'm sure there's some things that you've learned and lessons learned along the way. How do you feel about it now?
Yeah. Well, way better than I did when I started. Because when I tell you, so, all right, so I don't think I told this out loud how this all started and began. A lot of people, and I guess that would bless somebody. So let me say that right now. Um, I did talk about giving God a yes. So when I said yes to coming back to Christ, I meant yes. If he asks, I'm gonna do it. Yes, I talk back. Yes, I got a little delayed. I'm working on that, but I usually still end up doing it.
Yeah.
And so what happened with this was I kept hearing it, and I was
Mm.
like, no, not me.
You were saying no, even though it was already there. Mm.
Right. So I was like, okay, I hear you, but how, why, who, why would I do that? I like it doesn't even. Why would I want to do that? So many people are already doing that. Why would
Right.
I want to do that? And then I was like, okay, well, I kept on going. And then one morning, it was like, well, I tell you what, it was a Sunday, and people were like, hey, Sheena, it was people in my circle kept bringing it up. And I was like, get over it. I love y'all. Don't take that the wrong way. But I was like, I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to really do it. And so I started calling it the P word. I don't want to hear the P word anymore. So then Jay Sean started.
Yes. Okay.
And so I was like, okay, now everybody's talking about it. And so I finally was like, maybe I'll do it. And so then I started with maybe, and then I went no again. And so then one day, God was like, I'm tired of you. He was like,
Hmm.
we're done. He was like, I was on my way from dropping off Jax, and we were in the middle of the move, and all my stuff was at the other house. And he was like, stop today. Why? I don't want to do that. I got to go to work. I don't have time. I mean, I can get it later. Why today? And he had had enough of me. And I think that was the time he was like, you're going to do it. Do it now. I don't care about no cameras. I don't care about backdrops. I don't care about all that other stuff. He was like, you're procrastinating, basically. He was like, get on it today. And that, when you go to my YouTube, that video was that morning. That introduction video was made the same morning I had stopped to get that stuff. That backdrop was the backdrop I had in my house. I put it in my office and I just started recording.
Wow. And here you are.
And here I am still recording. Still
But with a different backdrop
recording.
and
Listen and figure it
much
out.
nicer.
And I think that's the thing, right? Figure it out along the way. And I've been telling people, I think that what God is looking for is for us to make a step towards Him, and then He shows us the way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people want Him to be like, here's everything, and here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the rest.
Handed it right to them, right?
Yeah,
That's what
but
they're
it's
looking for.
right. But a lot of it is unveiled. I've learned when we are obedient and take the first step. Then He's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
here's five more things, and
Yeah.
you can do it. He's like, jump, trust me, have faith. I got you.
Woo.
Do
Mm,
it. Come
mm,
on. He's like
mm.
rooting for us, and we won't let go. Just like, and I told myself I won't go preach on here or try to teach or do anything, but and just like they did when Jesus told them something better is coming for you.
Phew. Shan, take it away. Take it away. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Something better is coming for you. They weren't even willing to let him go, but he kept saying that when you do, there's more. There's something more coming to fill you up, to lead you forward. And I think that's what we do. We grasp on and we're like, dear, my hand and knuckles are going to turn white because I just don't know. And I think about that image online too of like the little girl. I don't know if you saw this image, but I think it was of Jesus and he had his arm behind his back and he had this huge teddy bear and he was
Yeah.
trying to ask the little girl for the little
Yes.
bear in her
To
hand
get her the bigger one.
and she wouldn't relinquish the teddy bear. And I think that's what we do
Oh
with
no.
things in life. We don't make the exchange
Exactly.
because we're comfortable and we know what that teddy bear looked like.
It's familiar. We know what it is.
Yes, and
We
that's the
know how to do it.
okay, right. And that's where I was going because that's a lot of time in a winning season, you have to be uncomfortable. You got to do something you don't know. You got to try something you don't know. But a lot of us want it, but we don't want to do the trying and the working. And
Don't
I
want to
think
do it.
that's where we end up missing it. And that's how I almost missed this. So I tell people, and I'm not saying this to be angry or point the finger, but yeah, there's become a lot of times where I've almost missed. But thank you, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and I listen. Because it's like, if I don't, I mean, he gives me some time, but he's like, you're going to miss your appointment.
Yes.
Let's go.
Get it
And
together.
right. It's like he already had, that's why I was saying on the last episode, is that if I wouldn't have started with that yes of the
Yeah.
book, I would have never ended up in New York. I would have never met those people who ended up being the first guest on B Field.
Oh, yeah. You see how it all came full circle though?
Yes, I was like all worried about who, what to call and where to go and all this other stuff. But as soon as I made a step, he gave me the name. As soon as I made a step, there were the people. As soon as I asked them, they were like, yes. And I
It was
was like,
already mapped out. It was already worked out for you.
right. But I would
You
have
just had to
never,
do it.
yes, I would have never saw it if I didn't say, okay, well, let me record 3 episodes and just put them out there, send them to a couple people, see what they think. And then I'm going to release it. Whatever happens, happens. Then all of a sudden, there was like, Sheena, I love this. I'm like, what? Are y'all tripping? And then the next thing, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to just keep showing up and see, and I don't pick my guest unless I hear it.
Hmm.
I wanted to tell you that. I'm not randomly choosing people.
Right.
I choose them as they come. As he says the name, I say, okay, let me see what they say.
Yes. I feel especially privileged now.
Yeah, see? Everything I do, I run up before I run forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
girl. So yeah, this second one, I'm like, jump on here, let's go. Like, I think I did that thing the other day where people could ask me questions online, and I did live videos, and my friend was like, "Man, you were like, yeah," because now I'm like, cool, whatever. Woo.
You doing it.
I'm gonna say it now. I'm good. Let me get on that video.
Right.
Let me talk to people. But when I first started walking and talking and wrote this book, I didn't know who I was with that book. I'm like, book who? Fill your cup. What? I still didn't understand what fill your cup meant while I was in front of people.
Right. You were still growing yourself.
They were like, oh, so what's your book about? Uh, well, it's
About
like
that.
different individual moments about my life.
But now,
Oh, yeah, got you. Yeah, I got you. Running circles around it.
mm,
But I would have never known
yeah,
if I didn't go.
right. If you ain't take that chance. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. I'm going to keep doing it until he says it's enough.
And it might be time for something else when that happens.
That part. And being okay with that part.
In order to let this go,
Yeah.
you got to do that to get to the next thing. So you got to let that go. Right.
Oh, man. Because what we talked about, a winning season can always be winning, but we also have to be willing to say enough. When does
Yeah.
it need to change again? When does that season need to bloom into something else? What are we gonna do something else? You don't know.
Right.
So
Right.
live it up, live it while you can, enjoy it while you can, learn. Sometimes I think too, while we're waiting, it's a learning season.
Yes. Oh, now that's a whole other topic because there is so much to be to learn in
Yes,
those moments.
yes,
Things you didn't know you needed, things you weren't looking for.
yes.
But that feeds your soul in so many different ways.
Right.
And so you talk about that, and in those moments is you can even, I mean, everybody know I love sports, right? You can reference it like a basketball game, right? You can win the game, but you might have had a real bad third quarter,
Listen,
right? You might have still won that game. But that third quarter might have took you all the way down and you didn't think you was gonna make it. But you
Right.
had to figure out and learn, like, oh, if I adjust my defense a little bit,
Right.
oh, my offense gonna win off of that. So
Right.
I gotta take what I've learned in this quarter to this fourth quarter, and we're gonna turn this thing around. And
What?
now I'm gonna win this game, right? So just being able to do that, and we say that recognizing that it's not easy, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's we making it sound like it's easy, but let's
Oh
be real.
no, you're gonna bump, fall down, jump, scar yourself up, but get
All of
back
the
up.
above.
That's what we're saying. I told somebody, they tell me, "Oh yeah, oh you sound so great when you talk about when you turned around and came back to God." I said, "Yeah, I did." But honestly, having that mirror turned on me was like hot burning coals.
Didn't feel good, right?
No, but it was worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And you can
Yeah,
look back on it and see
yeah.
in the moment it was real uncomfortable. Now you can look back on it and there's so many things that you can glean from that, right?
Oh,
You
come
can
on,
look back
Glee.
and say, yeah, I I
Yeah.
I did XYZ, or oh, this is what was going on. You can glean so many things from it, right? And so yeah, it's probably, but it is not easy. We don't get here just by snapping our fingers and smiling. Some
Listen,
days I don't want to smile.
thank you. And I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh, Sheena, you do this," and oh, it's so that. I'm like, "Yeah, but these are moments, I'm gonna be honest, that I could be like everybody else, laying on my couch, eating cookies, watching my child do something crazy, jumping off the couch. But I have to be a willing sacrifice for the greater in this moment because there's something else. That time's gonna always be there. I'm always gonna be mom. I'm always gonna be wife. That
Absolutely.
stuff, it's not going anywhere. So it's like I just need. It's good to have people in your circle that understand.
Yeah.
I'll say
Yeah.
that. And have
Yeah.
an understanding spouse and people that know that when God
Yeah.
calls, he calls. And when I got to answer, I got to answer.
I gotta answer.
Right, right.
And,
So,
and you don't have to understand that.
right.
You just need to be able to respect that I'm doing
Yes,
what I need to be doing.
yes.
You
That
may
part.
not, it may not make no sense to you. It
Yes,
don't need to. I need
yes,
you to respect it and I need you to support it or give me the
yes,
things that I'm asking you for.
yes,
Otherwise,
exactly.
you can move on to the side because I still got this thing that's in front of me
Yes,
that I need to do.
that part. Girl, be here all night talking to you.
Hey, look, what's our cutoff time? Because we've been going for a minute now,
Well,
Chad.
the great thing about it is that this podcast doesn't have an ending, but I always tell people we talk until we finish or feel like we're at a good stopping spot. But girl, I know you've been at work just as long as I have probably
Yes,
today.
yes.
And I definitely want you to have some relaxation time. But no, this has been great.
It
I feel like
has.
there's so much we can bring back. We probably, like I said, we definitely need a second episode to probably talk about some more stuff. And
I'm down.
we'll drop the coach on there. Get everybody hooked up with this leadership coaching. Come on.
Yes, yes, yes. If you and even if you don't go with her, which I 10 out of 10 recommend 5 stars, right? But yes, coaching or the expert that's right here in the room with me right now, right?
Gosh,
Y'all
somebody.
go ahead and I mean she told y'all she got good reviews, so
Oh,
uh what was it? With AP consulting?
oh gosh. My old company was A&P Coaching.
AMP.
Yeah, I might change it. I might change it.
Oh, sure. I mean, you might just have B Field Consulting.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh, look at you. Get off. All right, here we go, you guys. We're gonna put her out.
I'm just
All
out here
right.
trying to support you. Okay. I'm just saying that in addition to the link, that I think that this person right here, she is also a rock star and could do some really good work in a number of different ways. And you don't just need leadership coaching. I mean, you like you said, you have coaching and consulting looks so different for so many different situations.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm really glad I got to do this with you. I didn't know what we were gonna be talking about, girl,
But
all
I
over the
told you,
place.
it's like,
But you
yeah.
just fed my soul tonight, so I appreciate it.
Girl, you and me too. Girl, I am just excited. You guys, I am just blessed by the people in my life, and I'm just sharing them
Yes.
all with you. I hope that this conversation has been filling for you, and I look forward to bringing you back for another episode. Thank you to Miss Kiama, Dr. Kiama. And she
Now you could have just let it roll. You could
okay,
have
all right.
just left it
All right,
alone.
all right.
I'm
Hey, listen,
just
somebody
Kiama.
got it going on. I got a doctor. Get in there, get in there. But all right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Play it back because I know you got some good nuggets to pick up on. And we love you guys. Can't wait for the next episode. We're going to sign off. And remember to be filled. And let's be filled together, you guys. Love you. We'll have you here. Episode 3 coming up. Keep out, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.